Hi everyone, Omeza here. Welcome to my beautiful and highly dynamic Excel dashboard tutorial right here on YouTube. Today I'm going to show you how to create this particular Excel dashboard from the scratch that has this feature of switch and changing of background. So right now you must have watched the overview. I'm not going to actually talk much about this dashboard right here because I have an overview. If you've not watched that overview, please before kindly take a look at that. Now this is what the dashboard is all about. It's about crime analysis, and this is the instruction given. So I'm going to be leaving a link below this very video for you to actually download this template and take a look at it and see how everything goes. Now what about this feature right here? That actually help us to hide our slices. We're going to actually look at how we can actually build everything from the scratch and actually show you how you can actually implement the same thing to your own Excel dashboard. So after we are done, we can clear the filter and actually come back and hide our filter away from here. Then we can click on any of it right here. When I click on this one, this is where I have the age group right here that actually participated in our survey. So I'm going to hide it away. So right now what we're going to concern ourselves about today is just this particular switching of themes that is going to actually make our dashboard to be some kind of outstanding. So let's see how we can actually get this one created. So I'm going to click at the top right here right now, and I'm going to go to view. From view you switch windows. I'm going to click on this particular crime analysis dashboard. Here we go. Now please mind you, if you have to save this, you don't have to save this as just ordinary Excel workbook. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to go to file, and from file I'm going to go to save as. Here is it, my save as right here, and I'm going to save to this dashboard right here. So now it's going to be YouTube. Sorry for that. YouTube lesson crime analysis. Now you don't just hit and save. So what you need to do, you need to take it away from here and save it as Excel macro enable workbook. I know a lot of you are some kind of like, I don't know how to write codes, but don't worry, it's very simple and basic. I'm going to walk you through everything, and it's going to be very much easy for you to understand what it is that we've done. So I'm going to click on this one and actually have this one highlighted. I'm going to Control A to have others actually highlighted at the same time we have it selected. I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to group the background together. Now the background is just one. So I'm going to take it back right now. So the next thing I'm going to do right now, I have the whole background selected. I'm going to actually duplicate everything. So I'll make sure I set again. I'll duplicate and I'll duplicate again. Now I have it duplicated into 4. How do I identify them? Do not worry. I'm going to walk you through everything. I believe all those shapes right here, you can actually create them on your own. So if you created a shape yourself, you will definitely understand how everything goes. Now look at it. So go to page layout, and from page layout you select this selection pan, and here we go right here. I'm going to actually have to close everything right here to be able to identify all of them. Now here are the 4 background we have right here. So what we need to do right now is to name this one into background underscore 1. So this is exactly what we need to do. I'm going to copy this one away from here. I'm going to hit enter. So to make it faster, I'm going to double click on this. I'm going to actually paste it right here. I'm going to have it 2. So I'm going to close it. So I'm going to have this one right here. I'm going to call this one 3, the 3rd background. So I'm going to have this right here, and this is the 4th background. Exactly, we need this backgrounds to be right here. So the next we're going to do right now, I'm going to actually mute all those one, and I'm going to have just one right here, and this one now is where the work begins. So we need to change the color of this for the first time before we actually talk about the switching. So watch how we do this. So right now I already have my color right here that we're going to be using to actually get that done. I'm going to actually cut this away from here and take it to my main dashboard to make it very snappy. I'm going to drop it somewhere around right here. So here we go. So what I'm going to do right now is just to right click on it and make sure I ungroup this for easy identification. So right now the main thing begins. So I'm going to actually take this one to be the header. So I go right here and actually take the format painter, and here we go. And this is how bad it's gonna be. So now I will need to show you this just to make sure you are very conscious of what you do. So right now it keeps the background, or it gives the color to everything. So I'm going to Ctrl Z. So when we Ctrl Z, what we're going to do right now is just for we to actually right click on this, and actually what we're going to do is to ungroup everything. Now everything is being ungrouped. So I'm going to actually escape, and here we go. Now I can click on this right now and go to go to home, and actually click on this particular one and have it. That is exactly what we really want. So now the background needs to be changed. I'm going to click on the background, and I'm going to actually do the same thing right here, and we're going to change the background. The background has been changed to what we have right here. So what if I do this real quick and actually show you the effect of what we've just done, because this is exactly what we're going to do to actually create everything. Then we'll come back, we'll walk around how to switch the background. Okay, fine. Now this is what we've gotten. The background are ready. So now if you look at it, we'll put on the first background. This is what we have. The second background is going to give us something different, just like this. So we'll put it off and put it on. It's going to give us different background. This is exactly what we really need. So I'm going to actually click and actually take this off right now, and make sure I actually go to the previous dashboard and show you the next thing we're going to add to make sure we have this dynamically created. So we need to add something like this very setting button, and as well we need to make ours just like what we have right here. So how we're going to do that? So we need to actually go to view and actually switch back right now. So here we go. I'm going to go to setting, and from setting I'm going to choose this, and I need to actually locate the kind of setting I use. So to use settings right now, we don't have any settings that are available right here. I'm going to use something like this. I think I'm going to be cool with this. So now here we go. So I'm going to make it some kind of smaller. I'm going to hold my shift to make sure I have the both sides some kind of really cool. So right now what I'm going to do is just to right click on it and go to format shape, and I'm going to take this as no fill, and what we need to do, I'm going to actually have to go to line and put the line to white. So what I'm going to do right now is to actually make sure this get increased. So what I need to do, I'm so sorry, I need to actually take the right one. This is not really the right one. So the right one is actually going to be having a lot of, I think we just need to look for something nicely like this, I presume. So we have something like this. So right now I'm going to say fill to this, I'm going to say no fill. So we're going to have to increase this over and over again to make sure it's thicker, and now that it's thicker we're going to put it on white, and here we go. So we're going to make it some kind of a little bit smaller. So what it is, it looks like just sorry for that, it looks like a normal setting right now. So I'm gonna pick this away from here. Just make sure I click on it alone. So I'm gonna have this right here. So the next thing I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna go back to the same place and have this one right here. So I'm gonna make sure I have this right here. That's going to contain all our buttons. So we need to actually turn this into white. So the border is white, and I'm going to have this be in white. So exactly. So I'm going to have to like go this way, and we need to give it a very nice design that's going to make it some kind of stand out. So what we need to do right now, I'm going to have this particular one right here. I'm going to get it, make it some kind of smaller. So what about this? I'm cool with this. So I'm gonna actually have it right here. That's gonna be pointing at, if I go for line, I'm gonna say no line. So go right here, I'm gonna actually pick up this. So click this as well, and actually I'm gonna clip them together by actually grouping them together. I think I'm cool with this. So right now this is exactly what it is. So I'm kind of go and actually make sure I have it a little bit smaller, so now it sits right. So we can actually adjust and make sure this one sits at a place it can be pointed at what we have right now. So we can do the formatting later though. So exactly this is what we really need to have. So the next thing I'm going to have on this is actually go back to the same setting and actually going to for this, I'm going to go for this button right here, and I want to make it some kind of round as this. So now we're going to have this right here, right? So I'm going to make sure I set it up. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to say background 1. So what I need to do right now is to give it the kind of color I really feel it's gonna fit in right here. So we're gonna choose a color for it. I think the color I'm gonna have right now is gonna be this very color. I'll make sure I have it this way, and I'm gonna put it on bold, and if need be I can actually crank it up a little bit. So I think this is exactly what I need. So right now I'm gonna be giving this the fill for dwelt. I think the line is gonna be black. I'm gonna give it a gray line, something black. The black not too black. I think it's too much. Better give it something like this. Now this is the border I'm gonna have on this. So right now I'm gonna have to duplicate this into 4. Okay, as you can see right now we've just gotten this ready. So the next thing we're gonna do right now, we're gonna actually click on the same page layout and actually hit on this right now. So we need to actually name our buttons right here. So if I click on this one, this is what it's going to give to me. So I'm going to actually see right here what I'm going to do. I'm going to say btn means button, so btn underscore background underscore background 1. So I'm going to actually copy this from here and actually make it very much some kind of snappy by doing this over and over again. If I click on this one, it goes to second one. I'm going to actually have to paste this right here, and now I'm going to have 2 right here. So I hit enter, click on this one, it goes to the third one. So we highlight this and actually paste this, and we have what the third one right here. So now the fourth one is going to be this right now. So if I click on this and I'm going to drop this right here, and I'm going to give it 4, that is the last word right here. So we actually have it named. So let's see how we can actually do this. So the next thing we're going to do right now is for we to actually click on this and let this be the default one. So we're going to click on this right now and actually change the text to what, to black. So we're going to go this way and actually change the text to something like this, black right here. I'm going to click on this. I'm going to change the text of this right here to the same color. So I change the text of this one to the same color, and this as well. So I'm going to leave this one to be the way it is right now. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is for me to actually right click on this and actually bring out this format shape right here. So what I'm going to do is for me to actually have this on 100% transparency. Exactly what I'm gonna have is this. Oh, okay, sorry, I'm clicking on the line. Go to the fill expert. So the fill is gonna go 100% transparency. So we are almost like what we've just got in the first tutorial. So I'm gonna go on this 100 transparency. So I'm gonna go back right here and actually re-click this. So right now we have this just like what it is. Now the next thing we're going to do right now is for we to actually write our first code. It's going to actually hide this and actually reveal it back to us again every single time we need it. So I'm going to cancel this right now, but before we do that, I'm going to actually click on everything right here, this and this. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to actually make sure I group them all together. So right now they are being grouped, so I can move them all at once right now. That is the first we need to do. So we're going to go back to this particular aspect right here and make sure we give it the group some name. I'm going to say background panel underscore panel. So this time around I'm going to have it open. So if I actually click on this, it hides it away. If I reveal it, it comes back. So I'm going to actually copy this away from here right now because I'm going to be doing this in a jiffy. So right now, here we go. So now we are going to be writing our first VBA, which is going to be very simple. I told you never to be panicked about like I don't know how to write code, so I hate it. No matter how you hate it, you understand what I'm going to do right here right now. So what we need to do is just to go to developer. So if you've not actually activated the developer to be right here, just right click here and choose on customize ribbon. So under customize ribbon, you're gonna see a developer right there like this. Just make sure you actually have it marked and you hit OK. Then you're gonna have it. So right click on it and just go on this Visual Basic right here. So what I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna have to close this for now. I'm gonna go right here and actually for now we don't need this. So we're gonna be creating ours from the scratch. We don't need to actually have this. I'm gonna say that okay, so it's gonna say goodbye to us. Now we're working afresh on a new workbook, so we don't need that. It's taking a little while. Alright, now here we go. So I'm going to click on this developer and I'm going to hit on Visual Basic. So right now this is what we have right here. So now what we need to do right now is just to go to insert and insert model. This is where we're going to be writing our codes. I hope you understand. So the first thing we're going to be writing is comments. How do we write comments? Single quotation mark will help us to actually write our comment without having to make it some kind of code that is going to actually interrupt to make our code not to work. So I'm going to actually have this dash is optional. So right now here is going to be my hide and show. I'm going to say hide and show of what? Of background panel. So you understand why what we are having right there, can you see, is grayed out. So the first thing I'm going to do right now, if you have to write this code to work very well, is for you to understand what we need to do. We need to mark the territory of what? We need to mark the territory of this code so that it only have some kind of effect on the button we're going to give to it without affecting other buttons. So what we're going to do, we're going to say sub. So sub defines the button we're going to use, what name we're going to actually have right there. Sub, we're going to say sub hide underscore show underscore background panel. This is exactly what it is. So right now if I hit enter, here is it. So right now it has marked the territory of what? Of this particular button right here. What we have right here is just a button. So I'm going to show you why it's a button and how that works. So the next thing we're going to be doing is for we to use if function to actually get something condition right here. So I'm going to say if active sheet dot shapes. So if active shape dot shapes, right now I'm going to open bracket. I will explain to you what it is in a jiffy. So I'm going to close the bracket. So it's going to be dot visible. So dot visible is equal to false. Then so let me finish the code and I explain to you what it is that we are trying to actually get to work right here. So I'm gonna say active sheet dot shape. Oh yeah, dot shapes. So here's gonna be shapes. So dot shapes. We come back. So we're gonna actually still open the same bracket again. I'm going to show you how to recycle through your code so that you shouldn't do this over and over again. So dot visible right now, so equal to true. So now we're going to say else. So else is going to be active sheets. So we need to recycle through this right now. We recycle through this. Then I'll tell you what it is that I have just done. So it's gonna be false. So exactly this is what it is that we need to actually do right here. So we've just come to the end of the code. So the next thing we're gonna do is for we to actually end our if right here. I'm gonna say end what? I'm gonna say end if. Okay, let's see what happens right here. So what we're trying to do right now, we've defined the territory, which is the code is going to actually sit right here. So any other code we write right here right now it's not going to have any effect on this. Neither if this is going to have any effect on this particular code we have right here. So and this is the button we're going to actually use to link to the button that is going to actually hide and reveal the background panel. So right now what we've done is this: if the background panel is not visible, that is why we said active sheet. Active sheet means this particular sheet we have right here. This sheet we have right here is active sheet. If we have 100 sheets open, the active one is what is gonna actually take the effect of the code we've written right here. So if active sheet dot shape, so what is dot shape? The dot shape is the shape we have right here, and we give the name of the shape, which is background panel, which we've actually given right here. I think where it is. Okay, now here is the name of this particular hot shape right here. So dot visible, if this visibility is false, which means it's not actually visible, it's hidden right now. So now if that is the case, kindly and if that is false and I hit this particular circle right here, reveal the shape for me. And if I hit it again, hide it. So let's see how this works. So if I actually click on OK right here, it's going to run okay and actually tell me we have some error. So now let's see where the error is right now. Okay, the error, I think the error is just an E, so we have to put E right here because it is shapes, not shape. Okay, right, if I hit OK right now, it's working fine. So I'm gonna go right here, and now we need to actually give it to this button. So all we need to do is just to right click right here and make sure we actually go and assign this macro. So what we're gonna see is just one button for now. So this is what it is. I'll double click on this, I have it. So let us test out if it is working. Now it hides and it reverses. It hides and it reverses, which is very cool. This is exactly what we need to achieve, and we've just achieved the first one out of lots. So right now we reveal it, but it is not really working on this one right now. Nothing is working right here. Nothing is working. So how can we do what we have right here to make it work? So let us get on it. So the next we're going to do right now is for we to write the code that's going to actually change our change our themes for us, which we actually have defined right here. So let's see how we can actually do that now. Now we need to control what? We need to control the background button color. So every single time we click on this particular color, or on this particular one right here, this color will leave here to this, and this one will be what? Will now turn to this particular color that grays out. So this is exactly what we're trying to do right now. So the first code we're going to be writing to actually get us to do that is for we to actually declare a function. So I'm gonna say function. So the name of the function is gonna be change what? Let us name it change underscore. Every time you make a or you type in something and you need to actually get another word, please kindly put underscore. Change theme. So change themes. So I'm gonna open bracket. I'm gonna say vary. So vary means change, right? Underscore button. So you will understand what is going on right here. As I'm gonna put this one as object. So we have it as a function right there. So I'm gonna say comma and active as boolean. So now this is exactly what we need to do. I'm gonna close this. I'm gonna hit this. So right now we've just gotten this ready. So this is a function we have right here that we're going to be using over and over again. So you're gonna see how we use this function to make sure we have that change dynamically. So the next we're going to do right now is for we to actually say with vary button. So with vary button, which is the object we have right here, we're going to call the object right now with what? With vary underscore button. Oh, sorry, button, not button. So I'm gonna put n right here right now. So exactly is now correlating. So right now I'm gonna hit this. I'm gonna actually have to end my width and width right here. So now within this particular width we have right here, so we're gonna actually put something. So let me just make sure I bring my code at the top right here. Oh, sorry for that. Make sure you can see this right. So right now within this width, what we're gonna have right here right now is if functions again. So I'm gonna say if active, so if active equal to true. So if active equal to true right now, so what I need is the text to be changed. Oh, sorry, I need to put my then. So if it's got a true, then do this. So what I'm gonna do is gonna be dot text frame. So dot text frame dot character dot font dot color, so equal to RGB. So RGB is gonna be in capital letter, so we're gonna have this GB in capital letter. So the RGB is gonna be 255 255 255 255 for white. So now I'm gonna have to close this right now. So I'm gonna hit this. So dot what? I'm gonna say dot fill. So now transparency. So transparency. So make sure everything you're writing is the spellings are correct, else it's gonna actually throw out some error because this is very technical. So transparency equal to 0, and I'm gonna actually put my So now here we go, we are almost there. So the next we're going to do right now, if this is not what it is, so I'm going to copy this. We call this recycling. So because we're going to be writing the same thing if we are to write it from the scratch, so we're going to be writing this over and over again, so we don't need to write this again. So we need to actually we need to actually recycle through this. So I'm going to explain everything as we go along. So I'm going to say else. So I'm going to have it right here, and I'm going to make sure my function goes this way. So now here is going to be what? It's going to be 0 0 0. Now this is for black. So what we need to do right now, the next we're going to do is for we to actually, our text transparency right now is for, we're going to copy this away from here. So our text transparency is going to be 1. Then I'll now explain to you what it is, what it means for me to do all this. Alright, now let us get the logic together right here. So what is codes we have right here? Let me just bring this. I'm gonna actually have to close this right now to show you that very well to my satisfaction. So I'm gonna actually make sure this one is sitting. I'm gonna click on this. I'll make sure this one is actually showing, and we'll reveal our code to actually explain better. So right now, here we go. Now what the code we have right here is doing right now, we said the function is what change theme, and we actually have an object right here, and with the object defined right here. So we are trying to actually set what we're trying to set the font color to what, to white every single time is actually active, just like this one. This theme right here is active right now, the background color is white, and we have it filled. We have it filled. So right, the transparency is what is just 0%, which means we have a background color on this particular button right here. But every single time this is false, we actually say else. If it is false, which means those ones are false right now, those backgrounds are not really showing. So we're trying to actually put the text color to be black instead of white, like we have right here in black, and we'll have the transparency to be 100%, which means it has no transparency. 0 means there is what? 0 means there is some kind of color on it. So when we put transparency on this particular one, it's going to remain 1, which means the color is actually being removed. This is exactly what this is actually working for right now. So if I actually click on this one right here and actually run it, you're going to see this disappears, and I click on it right here. It's not going to do nothing right now because we have not really assigned any of the macro right here to those buttons we have right here, and we've not actually written code to switch it dynamically. So right now I'm going to show you how we can actually write the macro that is going to actually do the magic for us. So what we need to do right now is for me to actually copy this away from here and rename this to what I think is going to work better for we to actually track our code. So right now we need to, oh sorry for that. So we need to actually make sure this one is aligned. Okay, right now let us understand two things right here. So we have our buttons to be on BTN background from 1 to 4, and we have the backgrounds just to be in background 1 to 4. Now this is the buttons, and those are the buttons, and those are the what? Those are the background. So right now let us treat the background separately right now. So let's see how we can actually switch the background and actually see how we can actually work around with the buttons. So right now the first thing we're gonna do right now is for we to actually declare the territory for this. As I always say, it's gonna be sub background subword for full. I'm gonna say full underscore background right here. So now we've actually defined the territory for this, so I'm gonna actually indent this. So the next thing we're gonna do right now, we're gonna actually leave a comment on this. So this is what to change the background of the dash but. So right now is a comment. So now can I start right now? I code right now. I'm gonna say dot. So always remember, if dot should be what it is, do not use comma. If comma should be what it is, do not use dot. So, and if you don't have any of them right there, it's gonna feel like you are writing a function and you've not defined the function. So you need to actually make sure you put all this into consideration, so that if you run into error, you would know what to search. So dot what? I'm gonna say dot shapes. So make sure you have the R's and the E as well together. So dot shape, right now we're actually trying to define the background, so I'm gonna say is background. So the shape name is what is background. So make sure italics is what we have right here. So dot shape background underscore 1. So now we actually close it. Dot visible. So dot visible is equal to what? Is equal to true. So this is exactly what we need. So if I hit enter, it's going to take me to the next level, but right now what I need to do is for we to duplicate this into 4 because we are having 4 shapes, right? So now if this is true, which means 1 is true, we're gonna have to turn this one into 2, we turn this into 3, and we turn this into 4. So those are the 4 dashboards we actually what? Those are the 4 background color we actually have. So right now we actually making 1 to be true. If this one is being clicked, is true, and every other thing will now be false, just like what we have right here. So every other thing we now default to false that automatically. So only one of the background is actually visible. So we are done with the background. So the next we're going to be doing right now is for we to actually, I'm going to copy this away from here to see how I can leave a comment for you to understand what is going on right here. So now I'm going to be leaving this comment right here, and this one is going to be to change what the, I think this is for the background, to change the BTN background. That is the button. So BTN background color. So right now this is for BTN background color. So the next thing we're gonna do is you almost do the same thing, but right now this is where we need the function we've actually defined. So let me take you to the top level to show you where the function is. So the function is something we've defined right here. I think is it. This is it. Change themes. So I'm gonna copy this away from here because I'm gonna be needing it right now. So we actually have to define this function to actually help us to to work with the background shape, which is button, right? The BTN. So it's gonna be call. So what is call? Call means I'm calling the function defined. Exactly. So I'm calling the function defined. So now we're gonna say now change theme, vary button as object, active as boolean. So right now it's gonna be dot shapes. So now we need to call the name of what? The name of the button we're actually trying to use right now. So this is what it is. So it's gonna be BTN. The BTN has underscore and we have background. So BTN underscore background underscore 1. So we are calling the first one for the first time, and I'm gonna actually have to close this, and this is what it is. So I'm gonna hit comma. So now it's gonna be true. If this is true, then others are gonna be false, right? Exactly. I think I have some error right here. So what it is let us check what the error is gonna be like. Okay, fine. I need to have this closed. So now here we go. We are covered it. So I'm gonna copy this one, recycle through it, and duplicate it to 4 because we have 4 BTN. So we have the 4 BTN right here. So now this is for BTN 1, the button 1, button 2, button 3, and button 4. So now if this is true, we're gonna actually have to make sure we make these other buttons to be what? To be false. So exactly, this is what we need to do. This is all we need to actually understand. So we're gonna actually put our end width right here. Yeah, end width. So now this is exactly what it is. So we need to actually say with active sheet. So with active sheet right there. So I'm gonna have the end. So when we actually open with active sheet, meaning it's going to actually have to, I've explained that to you guys really. So right now this is all we need. I'm just gonna make sure this is actually, so now, so this is exactly what it is. This is for button 1. If I run this now it's gonna be very. So the problem we have right here right now is that this is very, not very. So I'm gonna say okay, and I'm gonna turn this one into what? Into an A. So we need to actually go end width right here. So end width without width, right? So we're just gonna check it out. So the problem is just if it says end width without width, you're gonna get confused. And if you check right here, we have width right here, but you just have to, like, if you're very familiar with this VBA code, you're gonna know that what we are having problem with right now is if our if is not being closed. So I'm gonna actually say okay to this. I'm gonna have to close my if right here. I'm gonna say end if. So that is just it. So end if, and I'm gonna actually run this again, and it's fine, very fine right now. It's cool. So I don't want to run it. I'm gonna actually cancel it for right now. So now what I want to do right now, we have 4 good buttons. So we've actually defined for the first button right here. So we're gonna actually have to do the same thing for our other buttons. I'm gonna actually copy this. So if I copy this, I'm gonna actually go 2 steps. I'm gonna paste it right here, and what I'm gonna do right now, if this is true, I'm gonna actually make this one to be false. I'm gonna make this one to be false, and this one is going to be true. So this one is going to be true. Everything here is going to be true. I'm going to make sure everything here is going to be true. Everything is going to be true. True, true, true. And here is going to be false. False. So I'm gonna be doing it for every other aspect of it into 4, just like what we've done right now. We're replicating this over and over again. So let me do that and actually show you the final result. Okay, fine. I'm on to the last one. I'm gonna copy it for the last time. I'm gonna copy this and actually go down 2 steps and actually have to paste it right here. So now we are actually having the 3rd button. So now this is the 4th button. I'm gonna say 4. So right now we're gonna have this true is gonna actually be false, and the last one is gonna be true right now. Don't worry, when you actually work with this 1 or 2 times, you're gonna understand what it is. So now it's gonna be false, and here it's gonna be true. So it's gonna be true. So exactly this is what we have right now. So we can actually have it tested right here. So when we click on it, this is what we have. Nothing really happens, right? So let us go and see how we can actually implement this in our project. So right now I'm right here. I'm gonna actually have to shut this down. So if I shut it down, I'm gonna actually have to test it out and see what it is that we've done. So we need to apply this particular just click on the buttons we have right here and right click on it and go to what? Go to assign macro. This is the 3rd one, so we're gonna apply this 3rd one right here and click on this as well, and actually make sure you are connecting this to what? To the 4th one, which is the number 4 of it, and now the same thing to this. So right click and actually assign this particular macro to the 2nd one. So assign the same thing to this particular 1st one right here, which is this. So now let's test our work out and see if this is really working for us. So right now I can actually close and bring it back and change the color of this background. Now can you see that it is actually working? It's changing for us. So if I actually go and actually have it on the full screen right now and actually make sure I remove everything I don't want to see any view. So okay, the ruler and actually the header is away. So right now you can see it's just like what we actually have previously. So I can actually go ahead and save this, because this is how we can actually be doing all our work. So this is how we're gonna be creating this particular dashboard and make it dynamic, just like the previous one we've just seen. So right now you can see how we can actually hide and actually reveal this over and over again. I can make sure I have it seated right to actually point at this just like this. So every single time it's hidden, if it comes back, here is what we're gonna have, just like this. So I believe you understand what we've just done right here. Let me just recap. I'm gonna actually give it a full screen right here. So right now this just give us hide and show of background panel. So right now we actually declare the territory. Now that all this code we have right here inside here should only work for this particular button we have right here, which is this particular button we have right on this. So this button is where we assign that to. So if we go back right now, you can see the whole code works for the particular button we've defined it for, and right here we try to control the background color of the button. So right now we talk about, we actually create a function called change themes. Inside the function we have this very button as object, and we call it with very button. So we show if active true, then what you're gonna do like this is gonna be like, if it is actually active, you will need to actually give us the background color to be white and send the field to no transparency. You're gonna give me a field color, the color I have right there. But if it is false, set the background color to black and actually make sure you have it on 100% transparency, which is gonna give you some kind of gray and all of that. So just like what we have right here, if I click on this, this is where we have all that. So every single time it is this, it's gonna be white and with filled color, but right now it is with transparency. So right now we go down again, and what we're gonna say is when we get down, what we need to see right now is control background button color. So now to control the background button color is that we're gonna be switching from one particular the background to another. So now when we actually click on the first background, the first bit here, or sorry, the first background, what we need to do when we switch the first background is going to be true, and other three backgrounds remaining is going to be false. And as well, the button we have clicked is going to be true as well, where we're going to have the button to just look like what it is right now. Now this is true, and the background actually is up, and that is as well true. So it's very simple to understand and all of that. So we actually duplicate this over and over again, and we try to actually mark the territory by giving it this number 2, and when we go down we have this number 3, and we have this to be number 4. And when we try to assign the same button to this, what we did, we follow the sequence of the numbers we have right there as assign macro. I can see all the buttons we have right here is what full background 1 to 4, and we have hide and show background panel, which is going to be very easy for even somebody who was not some kind of with us where we created all this from the scratch. I believe you understand everything that actually went right here right now. This is exactly what it is. If you've not been a subscriber on my YouTube channel, kindly hit the subscribe button to follow along step by step on how I created all this from the scratch. So I'm going to say thank you very much for watching. We've just achieved this, and we're going to achieve more and more of this in no time. So just stick with me and let's see how we can actually take dashboard creation to the next level. Thanks for watching. So click on the next video to watch and actually learn together with me.